All right, folks, so we've made it down to one of my absolute favorite places on earth here. And as you can tell, we are not in the garden. And the reason behind that is because I am a huge believer that there is a point and time and circumstances where you should stop gardening. And so before kind of getting into why I believe that is the case, I think it's important to take a step or two back. And so that the core and the foundation of why I garden, why I love gardening so much, is because of how peaceful it is, how calming, how much of a mindfulness activity it is for me, right alongside journaling, what I do to put my nervous system at ease and at rest. And so it is this place that is truly a sanctuary for me, where everything just melts away. And what I usually find is that by the time that I get to late fall, kind of into October, November, I get to be a little bit gardening burnt out. You know, it's been a long season where I was starting seeds back in February and March, and then transplanting and hardening them off, doing a succession crop, and all of the little gardening projects along the way. Plus on top of that, right now it's so cold, it's rainy, the garden isn't calling me as much. And so therefore, it starts to feel a little bit more like a chore. And that is the crux of this whole idea, is that gardening should never feel like it is a chore. It should always be that mindful activity that we do to restore ourselves. It should be that sanctuary that we think of where we can go and recharge our batteries. And so when I feel that kind of little bit of exhaustion and burnout from gardening happening, I give myself permission to step away from the garden. And so my encouragement to you is that if you're in a similar position to me, where you're just feeling like, hey, I'm a bit exhausted, I'm a little bit burnt out, it's getting a little bit colder, a little bit rainier, or maybe life is just happening and I don't have the energy for it right now, then give yourself permission to take a little bit of a break and to stop gardening for a week, a couple weeks, a couple months. It could even be a whole season. And I intentionally say give yourself permission because when we do it in that manner, there isn't any guilt around not getting to that last or second last or third last gardening project that we thought and hoped we were going to get to. It's okay, it's going to be there next season, we're going to be able to get to it. And what I notice every single time is that by the time we get to February, I'm basically chomping at the bit to be starting my first seeds, to beginning to wake up the garden, and for everything that the season ahead is going to hold. And so with that being said, we're actually going to hold off on publishing any content for a couple of weeks here so that we can rest and recharge ourselves to start getting ready for the 2022 season. Just in the same way that we put our garden beds to rest so that they can recharge and rejuvenate for the season ahead, we want to be doing the same things for ourselves. And I encourage you to do the same if that's what you're feeling called to at this point in time. So it's all for right now, folks. Those of you that I haven't met, I'm Jordan from Mind and Soil, where we're looking to introduce 1 million individuals to gardening's mental health benefits. So if you want to garden more mindfully and experience just how peaceful, how calming, how restorative it can be, then subscribe, come grow with us. We put out new videos every single week, except for the next couple of weeks, to help you get your hands dirty and experience that mental health side of gardening. So normally I would now say go get your hands dirty, but I'm gonna go and warm mine up inside. I'll see you in a couple weeks.